Thanks, Adrian. Well, some hazardous conditions out there this morning. Dense patches of fog, freezing cold with frost and ice. But behind me, picturesque shots of Buckinghamshire down in rural southern England. Very pretty as the sun begins to rise. But bear in mind those hazards out there this morning. I've got a full forecast for you right now. Good morning to you. Well, freezing and frosty for all of us to start the new day. Temperatures well below freezing point in many locations. Icy stretches on untreated surfaces through northern England and much of Wales, and dense patches of fog anywhere from central southern Scotland down to southern England. Particularly bad conditions to the east of the Pennines, the Welsh Marches, through the Midlands into East Anglia, and also around the M4 corridor and the M25. Visibility down to just 100 metres or so through parts of southern and southeastern England this morning. Awful conditions for the journey into work and to school. That misty low cloud and dense fog taking its time to clear. A better chance of clearer conditions out to the west through parts of western Wales and the West Country. Further north, also some fog patches to contend with through the northeast of England and the borders of Scotland. For the rest of the north, well, clearer skies out to the northeast, but dull and damp through Northern Ireland and the western side of Scotland as the morning goes on. Here's some patchy rain into the early part of the afternoon. Into the rest of the day, well, just a few rogue showers into the south, otherwise dry, with brighter breaks developing. But as you can see from the temperatures, staying terribly cold out there. Temperatures not much above 9 or 10 degrees, even where the sunshine does develop. And through the south and the southeast, miserable and grey all day. For some spots, the mist and low cloud just lingering well into the latter stages of the afternoon and evening. And it will simply reform just in time for this evening's rush hour. As the night continues, temperatures tumbling and turning increasingly windy and wet from the west. For your look, here's the weather. Thanks, Steve. Good morning to you. Well, dramatic scenes on I'm a Celebrity and dramatic scenes out there this morning. Weather-wise, thick fog, icy stretches and freezing cold and frosty too. All the details in the next 25 minutes.
Let's have the weather now. Lovely backdrop, Lucy. Just look at that.
Oh, isn't it pretty? Sunrise at Hivinghoe Beacon, down in Buckinghamshire in the Chiltern Hills. Little misty and murky. The mist could be slow to clear in some spots this morning. In fact, there's dense patches of fog on the roads for the journey into work and to school. I've got the full forecast for you now. Hello again, good morning to you. Well, a taste of winter for all of us again today. Freezing cold and very frosty. Temperatures below freezing point in many locations this morning, as low as -5 across central and eastern Scotland, with icy stretches on untreated surfaces through northern England and much of Wales. And added to this, an extra hazard in the form of dense fog anywhere from central southern Scotland into southern England. Things are particularly bad to the eastern side of the Pennines, the Welsh Marches, the Midlands and East Anglia. In fact, visibility down to just 100 metres through parts of the southeast, particularly the home counties, through Greater London, the M4 corridor and the M25. All of these routes outside of London will have some very poor visibility over the next couple of hours. Bear that in mind. To the western side of Britain, a little better, a little clearer, and for most of us, a dry, if something of a very chilly start. For the north, well, we'll see some mist and fog patches for the south east of Scotland, the northeast of England, a little clearer to the north and the northeast. For the west and Northern Ireland, thicker cloud with some outbreaks of patchy rain moving in as the morning goes on, not amounting to too much. Through the afternoon, just a few rogue showers into the southeast, generally dry, brightening up where the mist and low cloud breaks, but generally staying disappointingly grey, misty and murky through the south and the southeast all day, and here temperatures suppressed, feeling cold even into the latter stages of the afternoon. And in fact, mist and fog will reform this coming evening, just in time for this evening's rush hour. Overnight, it's all changed from the west as windy, wet weather sweeps in.
Now, Lucy. Off you go.
Thanks, Adrian. Well, some big hazards out there this morning. Frost, ice and fog. The full forecast for you now. Hello again, good morning to you. Well, it's freezing cold and frosty as we start a new day. Temperatures still below freezing point in many locations. Icy stretches on untreated surfaces through northern England and Wales. As well as this, we're seeing some patches of mist and fog anywhere from central southern Scotland down to southern England. In fact, some very dense patches of fog to the eastern side of the Pennines, the Midlands, East Anglia, the Welsh Marches and the southeastern corner of England. Particularly poor visibility around the M4 corridor, the M25 and the home counties. Awful conditions conditions. If you're having to drive out there this morning, the visibility will be reduced for a good few hours yet before things improve. For the western side of Britain, a little better, a little clearer. And for the north, we're also going to see some mist and fog patches for the south east of Scotland, the north east of England. For the rest of the north, well, a better chance of brightness out to the northeast. For the west, well, we'll see some thicker cloud and some patchy rain as the afternoon goes on. Into the rest of the day, well, we will see brightening skies in some locations, just the outside chance of a few odd showers for the south. Misty low-grey cloud will linger through the south and the south-east all day, particularly bad across the East Midlands, for example. So here, temperatures suppressed. And by and large, another chilly afternoon in store. Temperatures around 10 or 11 degrees at best, around 4 or 5 degrees where the mist and low cloud lingers. And in fact, mist and low cloud and fog reforming in the central, southern and eastern locations of England by this evening's rush hour. Overnight it's all changed, not quite as cold as it has been as the system rolls its way in from the west. Find out
The weather, Lucy.
Thanks, Adrian. Good morning to you. Well, some very picturesque shots here down in Buckinghamshire, Ivinghoe Beacon, not far at all from the Chilterns. In fact, a little misty and murky still this morning, and that'll take its time to clear and brighten up. For some of us, some dense patches of fog at the moment, some icy stretches too. The full forecast for you right now. Good morning. Well, for some of us it is a bright start, but don't be deceived by the blue skies. It's freezing and frosty. Icy stretches on untreated roads and pavements for northern England and Wales first thing this morning. For anywhere south of Scotland into southern England, problems with thick, dense patches of fog, particularly to the eastern side of the Pennines, the Midlands, East Anglia, the Welsh Marches and down into the southeast. There's already been delays at City Airport in London, poor visibility on the M4 corridor, as well as areas around the M25, particularly bad visibility through parts of Hampshire and Oxfordshire first thing this morning. Visibility down to just 100 metres in some locations, awful for a time. To the western side of Britain, a little better, a little brighter, with some lovely spells of early morning sunshine. Also some fog patches for the north through parts of the northeast of England, the southeast of Scotland. For the northeast, a little better, drier, clearer. And out to the west, well, here it's a thicker cloud, the problem, and here's some patchy rain and drizzle. Oh, nearly fell off there, my box. And as the day goes on, we will see that mist and fog take its time to clear from central and eastern spots. Here's some poor visibility for a time and really quite grey and dull. With these conditions, expect temperatures to be suppressed. It will feel chilly all day. Remarkably chilly through many locations, temperatures very much on the low side, even where skies brighten up, and there will be a risk of just a few showers in the south. Mist and fog redeveloping through the south and the southeast this coming evening, and then overnight it's all change. Windy and wet from the west, and nowhere near as cold as it has been. Find out what...
You'd have spotted a new innovation on the weather there. On a foggy day, the weather graphics look very foggy. Tomorrow, when it's raining, we'll have water pouring down it.